So when I was young, I had been diagnosed with psoriasis and an adrenal disorder. I have a twin sister with Addison's disease, and mine was not quite as bad, but it caused perpetual mono to the point where I was out of work for months at a time. I had severe problems with digestion as a result and was not able to absorb any vitamin B12 into my body. My tongue fissured, I was not able to eat, and it later, over time, developed into a severe allergy to most foods derived from yeast. So I couldn't eat anything. For 2 years, my hair fell out, and the severe anxiety that I was feeling on a constant basis just kept getting worse. Until when I was 29, I got married, and my husband committed suicide 3 months later. So I later, through a few years of searching, found a friend who introduced me to Dr. Joe, and I started doing the meditations and intended to go to a conference. I happened to be picked off the waiting list and got in, and one of the meditations before the coherence healing, I had felt something in my body, and it almost felt like somebody pinching me inside. And I said, "What are you doing? Stop that." And the voice said, "You will never have a problem with this again." And I knew then he meant my adrenal gland. The next day I found out I was chosen for a coherence healing, and from the moment I stepped into the circle, the energy was so strong. A hand reached down and grabbed my heart and pulled it, my entire body, off the floor, and in a way I could never do on my own. And dropped it and pulled it again several times over and over. And then I just released into what felt like convulsions and shaking as my body released and released and released. I continued that way for as long as I can remember, and when I got up, it felt like I was still in another realm. But when I came back, everything was gone. I have never had a problem with my adrenal gland since. I eat whatever I want now, including sugar and red wine, Dr. Joe. And I found 2.5 months later, after doing the meditations morning, day, noon, and night, that the psoriasis, one day I woke up, I had forgot I had it on my scalp. And I woke up and I felt my scalp and it was gone. So I just want to thank everyone for holding these conferences and for the work, Dr. Joe. It's changed my life, and one of the intentions I had in my list was to bring my mom, and so she's joined for the conference with me. Thank you.
Yes. I'm ever so thankful. This has been the best gift ever. Last June 24th, I'd not been feeling so good, sleeping a lot, having a lot of difficulty breathing, and my daughter fought with me and took me to the emergency ward. And I remember when we got there, I hate hospitals and I don't like doctors, but I remember when we got there, I said to her, "They have literally 5 more minutes and I'm taking an Uber home." And of course, within that 5 minutes things work out. Got into the ER and I was diagnosed with T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. 3 days later, I had an appointment at Roswell in Buffalo and went to see a doctor specializing in this particular cancer. Apparently it's a very rare cancer, and it's a very aggressive cancer. And I didn't know at the time, but it was 90% in my bone marrow, and I couldn't breathe because I had a 9 by 4 millimeter, I'm just crying of joy, I'm sorry, tumor over my chest. And I was really angry to think that something could come in my body without my permission and try to kill me. It was disillusioning. And then it occurred to me that I really don't have any goals. I just go to work and I'm stressed out, and I come home and I go to work, and I can't see a future. I'm so blinded. And that's really what spoke to me. And Nadia's part of a group with a co-heal group through Dr. Joe, and she set me up with them, and they intended for me twice. And so the first time that they did this, I was just laying there, and it felt like so much light and so much love and fire just hit me. It was like a bomb, and it just hit my chest, and it burned, and it hurt, and it felt good, and my whole body just felt on fire. And then it just peacefully subsided a bit. And I knew at that point that I was changed. I knew something really, really big just happened within my soul, and I felt free, and I felt so loved. I mean, it was the love that just overcame me and changed me forever, and they intended again. And so when I went to the doctor and they did the blood work, they were all in a tizzy. I had a team of 9 doctors, and they came in because for 6 months, I did go through the 8 rounds of the CVAC chemo, and so every 2.5 weeks, I'd be in the hospital for a week with this stuff, and it was pretty intense, but, you got this. She was by my side all the way, and so in any case, they said, something's off a little bit here, and they did PET scans, and they did bone marrows, and they just said, we have no explanation for this. We really don't understand. We've never seen this type of cancer go away like this. You're an anomaly. And the cancer was completely gone. And that was 6 weeks in after the diagnosis, immediately after the 2 coherence sessions. And it changed my life forever. I had 6 months mostly in the hospital to wake up and to feel appreciation and to feel joy, real joy, for the first time in so long. I mean, it was during COVID, so people really couldn't be there a lot. It was just a lot of me time in the hospital. And the nurses would put a sign on the door saying, "Do not disturb, she's meditating," And they were so supportive. The doctors were really supportive, and we just don't know what to say. We have no explanation for the statistics that show a woman in your age group with this type of cancer getting through these treatments so well. People don't make it to the 6th round, and I, went through all 8 rounds, and I'm so thankful. Dr. Joe, I am ever so thankful. My daughter gifted me this conference right here, and it is continuing to change my life and will, because I, today after meditation, actually saw the new me. And I was rock climbing with my daughter, and I saw me. At first I looked and said, "Is that Nadia? Is that she's supposed to be here?" But it was me, and my hair is going to go back. All of it. My vision is going to be restored. My hearing will be restored. All the damage that chemo did to my body is right in restoration, and I am going to walk victorious. That's just the way it's going to be. So I'm ever thankful, and all of you keep up the work. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged, because let me tell you, it has meaning, and it does change lives, and it changes cells and bodies. Yeah.